Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show, presented by J&J Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
Saturday night and welcome. It's time again for the What's Up Bro podcast show, brought to you by J&J Production Studios, your one true home for entertainment. It is I, Sam Crow, here joined by Big Hoss. How are you tonight, Big Hoss?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Now you have your snacks. I bet you don't have your marshmallows though, do you?
No.
Why do I ask that, mind you? Well, if you guys tuned into last night's show, which hopefully you did, hope you got a chance to catch it. That was a lot of fun there. Kind of go over a little bit about the topic what we're going to do tonight, which I'm going to explain in just a second. But first, we want to welcome you, and if you're listening live, thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, whenever you listen to the show, if it's not live, listen, we appreciate it. And these episodes are available for download anytime. You can check it out on your favorite streaming service. You can also check us out on our official YouTube channel. Check us out at our link tree. You can go there and follow us on all of our social media accounts, as well as finding the YouTube channel there. We also have the store, which we're looking at getting some merchandise up there. So if you guys want your own exclusive merchandise, whether it's from specific podcasts that we feature here or the studio in general, you can get yours there. We're working on updating that for you guys as well. But yeah, so tonight we talked about this, and we've been enjoying our story times. So I figured... Go ahead. Yep, that's fine. We thought tonight would be a little bit fun if we did sort of an old favorite summer tradition. Now, grant you, we know it's not summer yet, and we might do this again later on, but we got the idea, actually, our good friend Boo Boo, who's one of our special assistants that helps us, she recommended this. So what we're going to do tonight is, we were hoping to have a few others with us, but unfortunately a lot of our other friends and our assistants are not available, so it's just Hoss and I, but we are going to sit around the virtual campfire tonight. We're going to share some stories, not necessarily ghost stories, that we have to save for coming up during summertime. That's more of a tradition there. And at that point, I probably will have my own set of marshmallows and chocolate bars for s'mores, which is always a pleasant thing to have at a campfire. However, this is not a real campfire anyway, so it wouldn't matter, although I would probably not venture to mention that. So, but we are going to have a fire going. In fact, I am actually going to pull up the background. I'm not sure if Hoss will hear this, but there we go. There's our roaring campfire, in a manner of speaking. So we are kicking this old school here where we're going to sit back and we're going to share some stories. Maybe we could tell some ghost stories. I don't know. I know Hoss does. I'm actually curious. I think if you have any stories, you've done a couple episodes of Paranormal Talk, right? Maybe you can share some stuff, because I haven't heard a lot of those. I've only heard some, but we could regale with that a little bit. That could be fun. But we'll share any kind of stories, anything ranging from fun stories about us maybe you haven't heard before. We got some good classics. We're really making a name for ourselves with fun stories we like to share, like we did last night. We got some things that will never die. We've made a name for ourselves in a lot of manners of speaking, so we might share again a little bit of those stories. A lot of you probably have heard them, but we'll definitely cover those as well as a few other things there. But we're going to be chilling here, relaxing over a good roaring fire. And being the techie nerds that we are, it is not a real fire, it is a virtual fire. So nobody will get burned, and we have the imaginary fire extinguisher handy just in case. So, and Hoss already has his snacks. We're sitting around the fire here. What are you chewing on now? I can kind of see what that is. What is that? Looks good.
Forest ham.
Ooh, Black Forest ham. Do you have anything with it? Is it wrapped like in cheese, or just having it upright?
Just by itself.
That's fine. That works too. Hey, this is a cookout here, so you could always cook that over the fire there, but you'll have to use your imagination because the fire is not real. So,
Then there's no cooking if the fire's not real.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we have to. That's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of fun, but yet at the same time, it's definitely not quite the same as the real thing. And when you're out camping, for me especially, I've done it a couple times. I like the enjoyment of actually smelling like the campfire. I don't know what it is, and I don't know. And as we said too, even cooking outside with the food, it just tastes better for some reason. So, and Hoss is really going. That ham looks really good. I gotta say, he's going to town on that. That looks absolutely delicious. I mean, I could go for juicy ham right about. Oh, Absolutely. Forget the bread. Just go right for the meat. Why would you want to make the bread for? That's just the cheap end of it. Go right for the main course, right? So, while we're here kicking back at the campfire, let's start one of our fun campfire stories here. So let's have Big Hoss share. So now, I'm going to ask this because I'm curious too. So, now you did the paranormal talk with Papa Jack, right? You guys did a few episodes of that. So what was some of the things you talked about? What were some things you shared there? Just to kind of enlighten us. I want to hear the story because...
I don't remember, honestly. We didn't really share anything.
What was the goal intention? Like, what did you have, what you wanted to share about? Do you remember?
Well, when I was younger...
Okay. Oh, good story time. Here we go. Okay, go ahead.
I lived in a house.
It's a good place to live. Okay.
It just so happened to be haunted.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm talking physical things happening to people.
Right.
For instance, I was pulled through a mirror,
Wow.
out of bed,
Jeez.
and through a mirror.
Wow. Did you get cut or anything, or was it just like a...
No, actually I did not.
Wow.
It was one of those sliding door mirrors.
Okay, gotcha.
But there was nobody else around, so...
Man.
And I remember my mom telling me this story.
Mm-hmm.
There was she was asleep, and she had a mirror on her nightstand, on her dresser.
Right. Yeah, okay.
And she remembers waking up to see a distorted figure in the mirror looking at her.
Yikes. Wow. Huh. Now, did you have, like, were there, now, I'm assuming you lived in the house for a while. Did you have, like, were these, like, regular occurrences? Did they happen, like, somewhat frequently, or was there a certain, like, pattern to
The only
it?
time it happened to me.
Oh, okay.
I do know one time we were sitting there and we couldn't find one of the little girls that lived there with us.
Okay.
And for some reason she came out. We think whatever it was lived under the staircase.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Because it ended up taking her, and she came walking out from under the staircase.
Wow.
But she has no recollection
Of that actually happening. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah, that's quite a, that's definitely something out of the ordinary.
Needless to say, we moved out shortly
Fairly
after.
quickly.
Yeah, we got the fuck out of there.
Get out of Dodge quick. Yeah, I'm not hanging around here. Before the real before the real bad shit starts to happen, we're getting out of here.
The only thing we were missing was
Yeah.
the only thing we were missing was 3 dogs.
No chain rattling, right?
Yeah, no.
You know, it's funny. Like, I'll share this too because I was reading this. There's I was at the store the one day, and there's like they had a stand for like I don't know what you want to call it. It's not a souvenir stand, but it's kind of like they have like maps and booklets of like the rural area of like in PA here and stuff. And so one of the books that was there I was looking at was, I think it was the top 100 places that are haunted. And so there's one that is close by where I can get to that I really want to investigate, and that is
Don't do it. Do not do it.
well, here, let me tell you the story though, just to give you the idea, just to, so you can kind of get clear here. So the haunting legend is it's in the Hotel Bethlehem, which is in Bethlehem, PA there, and I believe it's room, I want to say, is it 309 or 409? Supposedly legend that has been haunted for like since the hotel was built, and every time like cleaning staff they go up there, there's always some kind of chaos. Mirrors are breaking, the lights never work really well. I'm trying to think some of the things that they really don't rent the room out. Sometimes they will let people visit, but they don't rent it. I'm trying to think what one of the stories was too that was made the book, and it was just like cleaning crew or bellhops going up there and witnessing these type of things, and then of course sudden change like temperature, like cold. Obviously it's getting cold all of a sudden, this and that. Suffice it to say. So I'm like, that would be interesting, not to stay there, but at least to check it out. And then the other location, which is really you can't hear him, but Hoss is choking to death. Is right? I got you. There's one. Now this is a classic legend. You guys listening may have heard this tale. This is one of these oldies that's been around for a long time. Is going up towards Sleepy Hollow, New York. There's this, I forget the name of the cemetery. I think it's Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, come to think of it. Sleepy Hollow Union Cemetery. And why that is famous is that is the birthplace. What's that? Yeah, that's the birthplace and legend of where the Headless Horseman is from, out of that cemetery. That the tomb of the unknown soldier that's buried there. And I think there's like a little bed and breakfast that's nearby. I said to Miss Eliza, we need to go stay up there. Just stay there for a couple days. And
she tell you hell no?
No, she's like, I wouldn't mind going up there. I'm like, I don't know if I'll be outside at night for that, but I'm like, yeah, we'll just go. I'm like, why not? We'll take a romantic stroll in the cemetery after midnight and see what happens. But
I don't go to cemeteries at night. Nope.
It's funny because something I've always wanted to try that and just like stay there and see what happens.
Fuck
but
you!
Actually, speaking of which,
I've already been attacked once by a paranormal thing.
Well, speaking of that, I just realized that's an idea. We want to have this camping trip. We need to camp out and we'll stay at a nearby cemetery for the night. That'll be fun.
Fuck you!
That could be interesting, needless to say.
No, we're staying at a campground.
We should go glamping, so not totally hardcore. We could
Fuck you. You're going camping. Not glamping.
No, actually I don't mind. Really? No, honestly, really, I don't mind. The idea of... I haven't done this, but with our campfire background here, I'd love to sleep around a campfire just to go... Because I've heard people talk about it, but never actually done it. So that would be fun, in actuality, to be out in nature.
Yeah, until you roll into the fucking fire.
Well, you make sure that you put yourself... You're close enough to keep warm, but you're not, like, gonna roll in. That would be something Hoss would do, I'm sure, if we're not careful. If you're tossing and turning at night, you're gonna get a hot foot real quick. It could be interesting, but yeah, no, that's just some fun ideas. Definitely to get outside because it's not like it's not something to not go outdoors and be outdoors, but camping itself is just getting out there and like I said, even just this campfire sound has got me in the mood for that, just because it's so nice. And actually, this really isn't campfire. I think this is a Christmas fireplace, something like that. But it still gives you the general idea. So interesting story there. I'm trying to think of a good story I want to share because I could think of several. I want to go back to my younger days because there's more funny stories back then than there was.
And let me guess, in your younger days, you still didn't drink, you didn't do drugs.
Nope. Well, especially at between the ages of 10 and 15. No, I didn't. So, I mean, here's.
At 10, I smoked weed.
Well, okay. Is that shocking? Not so much. No, but
shut up.
No, actually, I'll tell you, this is funny too. The closest I ever got was, you remember? I don't know if you remember. Well, you probably would if you're younger, but the candy cigarettes. You could buy them at that's as close to smoking as I got, was the candy cigarettes. That was it. Which I know it's not as exciting because it's just it's kind of the what is it called?
What? You were sitting there just going.
Yep. Well, you know what? And I remember one year.
Candy cigarette while you smoked it?
Well, no. Here's the funny part. The one year I actually had a pack where the weather was getting cold out, so you could see your breath from blowing. So I made it even more fun when I could go outside in the cold air. And it's like, yeah, there's. So, no, but let me see. I'm trying to think of a good. I don't have any camping story. I'm trying to think of. Oh, I'll share this story. This is sort of a camping story, and this is hilarious, and we still talk about it to this day because my mother will never live this down. This was pretty funny. So we had close friends that we would go to a campground with, stay in a camper. Every year was sort of a tradition to do that. This one year in particular, I'll never forget it. We were down there, and usually hang out at the camper. We'd go into town, we'd go to restaurants, we'd go to the boardwalk, go to the beach, but this particular day we were home. So, for those of you that might not know, but you should, a lot of it knows, a camper is just basically like a motor home on wheels kind of thing. So there's a fully furnished like kitchen and living room, bedroom, like there's places to stay and everything. We all kind of slept. So there was a master bedroom, and then there's like some of us slept on the couch. The couch folds out, and then the kitchen table actually turns into a bed, so we had to sleep on that so we could all fit. But I think it was we were home. We were at the camper the one day, and my mom decided she wanted a snack, so she got a bag of popcorn. So she put it in the microwave in the camper. Now the microwave was brand new. I should preface this before I go further. This was a brand new microwave. I was up playing. I think I had my action figures. I was playing in the camper stretched out, so the kitchen was like here, and I was all the way across, like opposite way up in the bedroom playing. And all of a sudden, I believe my mom hit the popcorn button, which we know now. If you don't know this, when you make popcorn, you never hit the popcorn button because it doesn't work, especially when you're trying. I know a lot of you are going to say this. What's the point of the don't know why that's there, but just don't use it. But my mother decided to use it. So all of a sudden, like within a matter of seconds, the smoke alarm goes off. And I'm like, what is that? I look in the kitchen here. My mom goes, smoke is coming from the microwave. She pulls the microwave door open. There's flames shooting out. So the camper is quickly filling up with smoke, and all the alarms are going off. We're running out that one little doorway trying to get oxygen because they're breathing all this stuff. So not only did my mom ruin the bag of popcorn, it was all black and kernels, she destroyed the microwave in the kitchen, brand new microwave. So that was it wasn't funny at the time, but it was actually pretty funny. And then another story that I will share, because this is a brief one too, is this is one that my dad doesn't live down. So when I think I was 5 at the time, my grandmother, who lives across town from where I lived growing up, we'd go over to see her a lot. This was in the wintertime. It was, snow on the ground and cold, and my family had a van at that time, and so we went over to see my grandmother.
Of course they did.
Yep, that was that.
Happy soccer family.
Yeah, no, well, you know what? It's funny because the van, that was always the vacation vehicle. Like, my dad had his car, and we had the van, and anytime we went on vacation, the van was what you could pack the most crap in, so that's where we would go for our drive. But on this particular day, I don't know why he had. Now, the van was relatively big in proportion. Now, my grandmother lives in a ranch-style home, which is a brick house that's on, like, one level. And her garage is, like, a one-bay car garage. Okay? Now, the van even, you could get it in the garage, but you literally had to, like, thread the needle. You had to get it just right. Okay? So my dad was doing that the one day. Well, all of a sudden, he was going to accelerate because he felt like he wasn't getting enough power. Well, he had the van lined up. Problem was there was snow on the ground, so he skid a little bit to the right. He floored it and went into like the garage, and he smashed off the passenger side mirror, like, I mean, crack. Like, didn't do damage to the garage wall, but he did damage that took the mirror off, which was hysterically funny. And why it was funny is because, me being 5 years old, I thought that was the greatest thing ever. And the first words out of my mouth, which was the horror to my dad, was, "I can't wait to tell Mom." "You sure as hell are not telling Mom." I'm like, "I want to call right now." "No." So that was pretty funny. And then the other one was the other one was there was the year we broke my dad did, and I was a part of this, but I didn't want to do it. We broke my mother's family heirloom for a Christmas ornament, which that went over really well. My mother's 40-year-old star on the top of the Christmas tree, which my father insisted we could get on top of the tree. We had to trim the tree top. And I told my dad, "You shouldn't force it because it's a plastic ornament." "Oh, I can get it on there." Well, he put it on there all right. He split it down the seam and broke the side. So I quickly and quietly crept in the house to try to get tape. Well, my mother could hear me saying, "What you doing?" "Nothing." "What did you break?" "I didn't break anything." "Why are you taking tape?" And so, Dad was like, "Oops." And then there was one we had you going from the kitchen down to like the basement. There's a staircase going down the basement. There's a pole there, and so the problem is.
Let me guess, the creepy guy lived in the basement?
No, this was fun. My dad has his little. He has we call it like a bachelor. He has like pad, like he has his clothes and stuff down there and everything, and the laundry he goes down to do it. Well, one day he was feeling particularly playful and he decided to. He ran in through the house. He was running down the stairs. He decided to play Tarzan on the pole because you can kind of swing off like a fireman's pole. You could swing off of it, and problem was. Which my dad forgot. Now, my dad is bald in the middle, so there's no hair there, so it's just his skin there. But what he did was he grabbed the pole beautifully to do like a pole dancing swing. He came around to make a nice swing, but he forgot to calculate that the ceiling goes like this. It's not high up, it drops down. So he ended up skinning the top of his head. Like it almost looked like a can of sardines rolled back on his head. Come home, and my mom's looking at him going, "What the hell did you do?" He's like, I decided to feel playful and I hurt myself. Like, so those are classic. Those are classic memories and a lot of things.
Hey, so what am I not too fond memories of myself?
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, not too fond memory. Okay.
Now, I am not racist, and Sam Crow can stick up for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, this is a colorful story, by the way.
No pun intended.
No colorful words.
Okay.
So I was hanging out with these black friends of mine.
Okay. Now were you younger? How young were like?
I was probably 12.
Okay, so okay.
One of them rubbed me the wrong way, and I ended up calling it the N-word. And to which point they held it back. I started running out the front door.
Interesting.
Because I knew I was going to get my ass whooped, and all of a sudden I started getting chased by a black dude down the street. I ended up turning around, thinking it was funny, saying, "Get away from me, you porch monkey." And to which point I ran in that house.
Yeah. Wow.
And this motherfucker was pissed.
Can understand why. I mean, that's, yeah.
At this point, my mom sees me running the house. I said, "Do not open that door."
Put the deadbolts on, quick! Chain it up!
There's an angry black dude out there. Called him a porch monkey and the N-word. And my mom immediately started laughing uncontrollably because she didn't expect me to say that.
What about the other one?
Elijah laughing in the background.
Wow.
But, needless to say, that was the worst story of Haas ever.
Oh, okay. Well, I could imagine something it could be worse, but what about the other one? You said there was another one.
Which one?
You said there were two of them. That was the first one. Was there another one? You said there's two moments you weren't proud of.
Oh, yeah. The other one was me putting batteries on a boat.
Batteries on a boat.
Changing the batteries on a boat, yeah.
What were the batteries for?
The motor.
Okay. And then what happened?
I accidentally put the wrong positive on the negative, and the negative on the positive, and Haas goes flying.
Yeah. Electric current from, yeah.
I kept my grandpa going, "You ever gonna do that again, you dumbass?"
Nope. Wow. Well,
when he asked if I'm okay,
after, yeah,
he starts laughing.
Yeah, he doesn't ask that first. He said, "Are you going to do that again?" Then he asks if you're okay.
And then he starts laughing.
Oh man. So
when he tells my grandma, my grandma fucking starts laughing.
So it's fair to say then that you got the shock of your life, basically.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
A big enough one to shoot me fucking flying back.
I can see it. If I think hard enough, I can picture it.
To the other side of the boat. And mind you, I am probably 200 pounds at that time.
At that point. So that's no small feat. That's a lot of square pressure to push you backwards like that. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, wow. I'm trying to think if I ever had any accident story like that. Not with electricity, I don't think.
Good, you would be crazy like me.
Oh no, here's a good story for you. This is because I almost did this once and I caught myself, but my mom actually. Let me preface this with my part because I'll tell you. So, in our home, in our family home, my mom we have the stove and the oven and everything. Well, my mom had a tendency to keep. She had a lot of like cooking pans and extra things, and there wasn't a lot of storage like under the cabinets. So what she would do is she would keep like cake pans and cupcake pans, would leave them in the oven with the oven door closed, like because it's just storage. And of course, if you ever needed to cook anything in the oven, you take them out. Well, there was one time I caught myself. I was I forget what I was making. And I remember, oh shit, I didn't take out the pans. They're still in the oven, and I already preheated the oven, and I got to get these things out of here before they, I don't want to ruin them. Well, okay, so fast forward to the actual part of the story. So, my sister liked to bake quite a lot. And so she would do all these, like, sort of different... she'd usually make, like, cupcakes or cookies, like, normal, typical stuff you could do. And so she made they're called no-bake cookies. And... if any of you know what they might be, some of you might, if you bake regularly, you may have seen them. You may have even had them holidays. It's almost like a meringue cookie. It's basically very light. It's almost as light as like fluffy, like a marshmallow. So very simple to make, and not. But they're fragile though. You got to be careful too. So what happened was, my sister made a batch of these cookies. I'd say maybe about 20 cookies. She had them on a cookie tin, on a cookie tray. Well, what she did was, I forget if it was because she wanted them to cool or what it was, she forgot they were there. She left the tin with the tray of cookies in the oven. Well, my mom, I don't know if it was later the same night or same day or later the next day, they were still in there. My mom preheated the oven to make something, and I forget how exactly it happened. I think my sister realized it too late. She came running down, and my mom's like, oh my gosh, there's something in the oven. Well, here, her tray of cookies that my sister made were in there, and these little suckers, there's really nothing else to them. Burned them, completely charred, burned them. And it took my sister like a couple hours to make them, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, like it took me hours to make these cookies, and you burned them in the span of like 5 minutes." So I mean, it wasn't funny at the time. I laugh about it now just because there's always some kind of miscommunication there, which was always fun. So. Yeah, that was definitely interesting. I'm trying to think of more. There really wasn't anything. Okay,
so we've heard stories about your sister.
Right.
We heard stories about your dad. We've heard stories about your mom. What is your story?
Oh, I just remembered one. Actually, I'm trying to think of ones that involved accidents, and I didn't have a lot of accidents like in the house, but I remembered one actually. I'll tell this one. This is a funny one. So we have in our family home. It's an older style home, so you have to get used to the steps that go up into the second. It's a 2-story home. I think it's like 13. Let's see, it's either 10 or 13 steps. The top step is a landing, so it's not a squared step. It has like I'll do it this way. Instead of going like straight across, it kind of like dips in. It's like a little like almost like an island shape. So there's like a little piece missing. So growing up in the home, we knew subconsciously where to step. Like I would walk across from the top landing. I could step on that step and go to my parents' room like in one swoop, because I knew where it kind of jetted out. Well, one day, I think I was 12 at the time, and I was walking to go from the top. My room and my sister's room were down a hallway, so we came to where the top of the steps were. My parents' room was on their own. I was going to go into my parents' room to tell my mom something, so I went to step. I knew where the step came out. However, for whatever reason, I failed to remember, and I think I overshot it. I was stepping in the right location, but instead of landing like this here, where the step is here, I would step here. I stepped too far to the left, and I went to step thinking the step was there. Well, I quickly realized, oh shit, the step isn't there. So I went tumbling down 13 steps. Now, why is that significant? Well, number one, there's no carpeting on the stairs, so these are wooden solid floor steps. Number two, at the bottom of the staircase, just to help you paint a picture of the house, At the bottom of the staircase, there's a floor because it goes into the bathroom. It's kind of like a landing, steps here and steps here. There's a wall right at the bottom. Now the wall with the paint and the structure of the wall is it's like a jagged type of wall. It's not smooth. It's the way that the house was designed. So if you hit certain parts of the wall, it will hurt. Well, I'm tumbling. Here's me. Picture it tumbling down the stairs. I got from the top step to the bottom step. I come tumbling down. I smack up against the wall. And then I'm pinned on the floor between the bottom step and the wall because it's like a very narrow. And I'm laying there like all contorted like, oh, that hurt. Like I can feel my side. My mom comes to the top step and she goes, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I hit my head. I didn't hit my head, fortunately." And she's like, what the heck happened? I said, "I went to step on the staircase and I missed the landing and I went totally off base and I was carrying something and I threw everything like up in the air and like stuff hit me on the face coming down." So I think I had a bruise like on my side going up, going like, "Oh man." She said, "Do you think you broke anything?" I said, "No, but it sure as hell's gonna hurt for a little bit because I hit myself on a good corner there." Or would you prefer? Here's another one. There's a time that actually I cut my own lip because I had a loose tooth. I was about 10. And I was riding my bike, and I twisted the bike handlebars wrong, and I fell off. I thought I smacked my lip on the curb because the curb was there. Well, it turns out I sort of bit down, and I had a loose tooth that was like really loose that went back in, and it kind of like sliced the inside of my lip out, so I'm like spitting out blood everywhere. Not because I'm like, oh, I hit the curb. I'm like, oh, I just cut myself. So wasn't too excited. I really never had much of an accident-type prone story. I never really had, I mean, except for a car accident, but that was when I was older, so... it wasn't as. That's what I'm trying to think. Like, I fell out of the tree once, but I didn't fall. I was just kind of dangling there because my foot got caught. So I'm hanging upside down. The blood's rushing to my head, and I can't pull myself up, and my foot's like wedged between the branches, and it's comical. Like I'm just hanging there freely, like blowing in the wind. Like okay, and I'm like, my mom's in the kitchen. She looks out the window, going, "Oh, he's in the tree. Oh, he's hanging from the tree. Wait a minute. He's not supposed to be hanging upside down." And my mom comes out. She's like, "You need help?" Yeah. All the blood's rushing to my head, and I'm going to pass out here. I'm upside down. So, those were fun. My stories about my sister are more fun because she was more klutzy. So that was more entertaining. And I can't even think of. There was a time we had a pet rabbit, and the rule in the house was...
Yes, you ate the rabbit.
No, we would take her out and let her roam around a little bit. The rule was, though, she had to stay in the kitchen area. That was my mom's one condition was she doesn't want it in the living room. Well, we take it in the living room. It has like a blanket. The bunny has to stay on the blanket. Well, the bunny decided to get adventurous and travel around the house, under the furniture and running through... And my mom's in the basement. I told my sister, get that freaking rabbit, because mom comes up here like we're like quietly like running all over the house. My mom's in the basement looking for something because the pantry's like down there. And I'm like, get the freaking rabbit! Hurry up! She's coming upstairs. Like the rabbit's like running, like diving under like furniture. And we're trying to grab her, and finally we get her. And my mom comes up and she goes, "Everything okay up here?" "Yeah, nothing. Everything's good. Nothing up here." So. And just to preface for you guys, if you don't know, pets were one thing that we had a hard time with. We never had cats really growing up, or dogs. I had fish. We actually had gerbils, if you know what a gerbil is. I'm not sure if you know what a gerbil is, but it looks like a mouse, basically.
Yes, I know what a gerbil is.
I used to love putting my gerbil in a hamster ball and let it roll around the house. My mom actually let me do that, which was a lot of fun, unless we kicked it and popped it open. It actually one time, that's a fun story, if you want to know. I'll share another one here before we'll go to break actually in a minute, but... I had my gerbil in, it's like one of those hamster balls, that can roll around.
Yeah.
And it was in the kitchen. Now, the kitchen is small, so when you're walking, there's not a lot of room. Well, my mom was, I think, unloading the dishwasher, and she inadvertently, or maybe it was my dad coming into the house, kicked the hamster ball. The lid popped open, and the gerbil was out free on the floor. And my mom's like, "Oh my gosh, mice on the floor. Like, I got him. He's scared stiff. He's not moving." I quickly went, I picked him up. Put him back in the ball. I said, because my mom is, my dad's joking with her going, "What, you didn't want him to come up and cuddle in bed with you if we let him run around the house?" My mom's like, "No." So, those were always fun. Never had any exotic pets, though. I had neighbors that did. I always said, I told Eliza, we need to get ourselves a tarantula. That'd be fun to have.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of or maybe a snake. I'm not sure. One of the two.
No.
Well, we know what to get Big Hoss for his birthday to share up in the apartment there.
No.
That thing gets loose and cuddles up in bed with you, lays something eggs in your head or whatever, man. I'll tell you what.
No. No. You're not allowed. No.
We'll do. You hear? You know what? The most exotic pet I ever had. This is a fun story too. Everybody knows what an ant farm is, right? Everybody.
Yes.
Well, my ant farm was special though. They weren't just your average ordinary ants. Okay, I had these like specially ordered. I had fire ants for my collection there. Which fire ants are dangerous because if you get bit by them, their bites hurt like you're on fire. And like you have to handle with caution. I had a whole bunch. They were great. I loved my ant farm. Fortunately, they didn't last long, but I did take care of them. In actuality, I didn't have the ant farm set up. They mailed me the ants in the mail. So I took out a little vial, like a little tube that had like thousands of these red fire ants, and I had to put it in the. It was funny because the instructions said to keep them frozen because they're basically into hibernation, so they're frozen for travel safety. Don't thaw them out until you have the ant farm set up. So I had to put this tube of fire ants in our kitchen freezer, in the refrigerator, in the freezer. So anytime we went in the freezer, like my dad one time grabbed it and said, "Nope, don't eat out of that. Those are ants. And you can eat them if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend you do that." So those were a lot of fun. I think I had them for maybe a month. I don't know why. For some reason, they just didn't last. I kept them till they all died, but that was always fun. And like, yeah, I had to be that kid. I didn't want regular ants. I wanted fire ants. Like, just because they get loose in the house. And my mom was always careful. Like, you don't take those ant farm anywhere. That stays here. And if you spill that thing, you are dead meat, because letting loose fire ants in the house will not be a good thing. And then the other exotic thing I had, which is technically not a pet, it's a plant, but I had a Venus flytrap, which I really liked a lot. That thing was fun. I tried to feed it whenever I could catch a fly that was too slow, so those were always neat to have, but never anything exciting accident-wise for that. That was always... Did you have any pets? You had pets growing up, right?
I had a dog.
You had a dog. Yeah, see, I wanted a dog, but my parents weren't huge pet fans for that. It's a miracle we actually ended up with cats, because my mom and dad, my mom specifically, always said there will never be any four-legged pets in the house. Well, now the cat is there, so that's pretty much a miracle in and of itself. So definitely interesting for sure. Well, you guys, we're going to take a break. These are a lot of great stories. I'm sure we're going to have some more we're going to share with you guys, but we want to catch a break. Good time for a bathroom break. Now, we're not outdoors, so unless you are outdoors, then you should find the nearest bush or tree, but go use your facility there with your bathroom with running water, plumbing, and a toilet. If you want a snack, grab a snack too. You have your marshmallows. That's fine. That's what a campfire is for, even though it's not real, I know. Still fun for it all. Get your snacks and come on back. We're going to talk some more. Got some more great stories we can share. I'm going to think of a few more. I can probably come up with a couple more that I'm missing. It's just been a while for me to check my subconscious there, but we'll definitely share some more with you guys. It's always a lot of fun there. It's great on a Saturday night to hang out around the campfire. We're going to eventually do that. As Hoss said, we're going to try to plan a camping trip. We actually want to do it live and in person, just for something fun and different. Definitely going to do a Reenie roast. That's always fun over at an open fire. But we're going to talk more. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday night. Again, if you missed the episode last night, you can check it out. It's available for you guys to listen to. But hopefully we can provide you some great entertainment for your Saturday night. Good chance to relax and kick back. Great more stories we're going to share with you guys. We're going to keep the campfire nice and hot. I'm going to pause it here so the flames don't go out. We've only used 30... Oh, this is a 12-hour campfire, so that's great. We got plenty of time. There we go. We want to keep the flames high and keep it warm. Stick around for more. We're going to play some tracks that also get you guys in the mood there. Music always helps there. So let's get a couple of those going now. Take a short pause. We'll be back for more, of course, here at the What's Up Bro podcast show at J&J Production Studios, your home for entertainment. Of course, we always love to have you guys. It's always a great thrill for us to sit down and chat with you all. So we'll be doing that more in just a moment. Stick around. Stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll see you in just a second. Be right back.
audio fans, are you looking for fun and excitement? Have you been searching for that special show? You know, the one complete package you want in a podcast? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show and experience what true entertainment is all about. Stay tuned and don't miss the action. Available on your favorite streaming services, including YouTube. Thank you for all your support. And as always, we'll see you at the show.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Campfire, which actually I need to restoke it here. Let's get that going. There, put another log on there, keep it fire roaring. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast show. It is I, Sam Crow, here with Big Hoss. We're kicking it back here, chilling by the fire, telling some great stories here. We're mixing it up between some ghost stories and some real life stories. It's a lot of fun there. And as much as I really wish, the more I hear the fire, I wish it was real because we could do some marshmallows, some weenie roast. It would be absolutely fantastic. But we do want to plan a trip to do a sort of a camping vacation, so we might do that for that. But anyway, we are back, and we're going to share some more stories with you guys. If you missed the beginning part there, you can always go back and check it out when the episode is over there. So, quite a bit of treasure trove of shares and stories there, I will say. Now I'm curious. Let's see. So we talked everything from personal injury to experiences of adventure and the latter. So, actually, well, I can tell you another story. I just shared this one too because Big Hoss said there's nothing about you personally. And if you want to hear another injury story, I can share that too, which is actually, it's kind of a mild one, but it's actually kind of funny. So, as I said, we usually go to a campground every year. My family did. We had some close friends that we always go down to the shore with. We usually go down towards the Delaware, Maryland area because there's obviously a lot of good beaches there. So this was, I think I was 22 at the time, maybe 21, somewhere in that vicinity. There's actually a picture which I'll have to share it with Hoss. I have it somewhere. It'll give me more pictures. So there's a picture. We, friends of ours had moved the campground because they actually purchased a pontoon boat, so we were able to go out in the bay and go out into the ocean a little bit. We went out into the bay area, which is where the boats tend to launch from, and the campground to go out. They can go out to the Atlantic Ocean if they want to. There's a spot in the middle of the bay, which the picture shows myself and my sister standing. It looks like we're standing in the middle of nowhere because we're standing in the middle of water. There's no land nearby. There's a sandbar under us, which is why we could stand there. So it looks like we're standing in the middle of the bay, and it's kind of fun. But anyway, by standing out there, one of the things that frequents in those channels are jellyfish. And little, like, not massive size ones like you can usually see at the beach, but, little baby ones. And so, as I'm looking down, looking in the water, there's baby jellyfish floating all around. If you hear any jangling, I apologize. Miss Eliza's working on a project, so she's making some racket over there. But so what it felt like was a jellyfish had brushed up against me, which it did. Now, I didn't think much of it because I'm in the water, I didn't feel anything. Well, later that day, after we got back on the boat and went back to the camper, and we were kind of just lounging there, I noticed my leg started to hurt a little bit. Like, what the hell? And then I touched, like, it's red, it's hot, I'm starting to itch. Like, what the heck? Here, because that jellyfish had touched me with its stinger, it actually stung me, which I didn't realize in the beginning. So, like, my skin was all red, and it itched like crazy. It was on fire. I couldn't do anything to
you know what you're supposed to do when you get a jellyfish sting?
Pee on it?
Yep.
Well, the problem was, it'd be kind of hard. I'd have to really poke it to the left or the right. I couldn't do that.
So you have somebody else pee on you.
Nobody volunteered. They said, you're on your own. So then there was one time I had to go to the hospital. I was down in I think Maryland, Delaware again. I got a spider bite on the back of my leg. It swelled up to the size of a golf ball. I felt like I had a golf ball embedded in my leg. So that was fun. And then here's another fun. This is talk about a brush with death. We used to ride in the campground. They used golf carts to ride around, so we used to take rides in golf carts. Well, one day particularly, just to make a long story short, which it really isn't long anyway, we were using it. It had to be charged, so you had to lift the golf cart seat to reach the battery to charge it. Well, when we lifted the seat up, here there was a spider's web, and the spider that was made a home under there. Not just any spider, mind you. It was a black widow spider.
Shit.
Yeah, and if you guys are not familiar with black widow spider, those bites can be fatal. They're called black widows for a reason. So I came close to death in that regard, but fortunately we weren't bit. But yeah, definitely something to be interesting for sure, because you just don't know, And see, for me, I hate spiders. Everywhere I go, I seem to walk into a spider web. I'm not even trying, and it's not even funny at some points. Like, I could tell you this: all the times I've been bitten. Some days I've woken up from my bed and looked at my arm, like I've been bitten by spiders in the middle of the night. All the spider bites I've gotten, you'd think I'd be Spider-Man by now. I'm actually not. Here's a fun fact for you, though. A lot of people don't know this. I don't know if Ross might know this. Did you know, fun fact for the campfire while we're sitting here, statistics say you actually end up in your lifetime some people sleep with their mouth open because obviously you snore and whatever else. You actually, according to statistics, say you actually swallow 8 spiders in your entire lifetime. So, the spider kind of comes down on a thread, it's dangling in the air, it goes right into your mouth, and you just swallow it down. It's a good source of protein, that's for sure. So, give something hostile to think about tonight when you're going to bed. Check your bed for any creepy crawlies, because you might have a friend in bed with you there. And also, did you know, here's another fun fact, I'm not sure if Hoss is going to be, if you get grossed out easily by this, the dust, you ever notice like there's dust under your bed? Like you ever, like I don't know if you have carpet in the bedroom and whatever, you notice there's dust on the floor? Did you know that that's actually your dead skin? That's not actually dust.
Lovely.
Yep. And they say if you take a nice comb to your pillow, like you see all the grease and stuff you leave on your pillowcase when you sleep at night. So, just so yeah, he'll be sleeping with Saran wrap on his pillow after all these stories. So, yeah, those are some good stories there. What other ones do you got? You got any more good stories you can share?
Not really.
Man. I guess Hoss was very fortunate there. He didn't have...
Okay, I got one.
Oh, okay. He thought of it. Here we go. Okay.
So this is my first time ever smoking pot.
Uh-oh. This is going to be good, I can tell.
Okay, so at 10 years old, I'm out with my friends. We have to get our hands on pot.
Right.
We smoked out of a plastic Coke bottle with a metal pin.
Yep.
Into it.
Mm-hmm.
For the weed.
Yep.
Well, needless to say, I ended up passing out in a ditch.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Where we were smoking, waking up to sirens.
Uh-oh.
My dumb ass, paranoid ass, my motherfucking ass, thought it was cops coming for us. So my ass hightailed it home, took off running. Needless to say, cops weren't after my ass.
Yeah. Well, but see, in that moment, you don't know because obviously you're just reacting.
Well, I woke up and my friends were gone.
Okay, so that's gonna cause even more panic. Yeah, that can cause even more panic, which is even worse. So, oh man.
How they left their friends passed out in the ditch, I have no fucking idea. But
it's well, okay. And so since we're talking,
my guess is they probably heard the sirens and took off.
Probably. So we have. I want to make sure. I don't know if she can. I don't think she can hear me, so I'll tell this story. I told this story. The guys heard this, but I want to share this one again. Speaking of, it's one of the my favorite drunk stories because I don't get drunk, but I was here the one night, and Miss Eliza, we were hanging out. She at that time liked to, when it's safe and when we're at the house, she could drink, and she actually downed a whole bottle, which was pretty impressive. It was like a bottle of, I think it was vodka, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh shit.
So, like, I'm sitting there going, like, did we not just open this bottle? Like, it was full, and then it's, like, down to, like holy mackerel. Well, and she was also getting tired, so she started kicking in, and so she definitely, like, takes a lot for her to get tipsy, but she really was, like, smashed here with that. And she goes, what we do? We're standing in the kitchen. She got the munchies. We're doing something, and then she goes, she had her laptop open on like one of the tables out there, and she had Facebook open, and she had Messenger open. She'd been talking to me at one point. She had me pulled up. I'm standing right there, obviously, but she kept walking by, going, "Oh yeah, Justin Parker. I gotta message him back." Yeah, you message him back. Make sure you do that. He'll be really upset if you don't message him back, even though I'm standing right there. And then she goes, "I have to go to the bathroom." All right, well, let's help you to the bathroom because she's like nearly fallen over. I let her go to the bathroom. Doesn't turn the light on. I turn the light on right away. I noticed, like, she goes to sit down. Like, wait a minute. Put the seat up before you sit down and start peeing. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Pull the pants down first. Make sure you do that before you start peeing also. That's all part of the process. So, and then trying to walk back to the couch. And then she said something. I'm trying to think what else she said. Something funny. Like, it had to be. Like, it was funny. I'm not. Doesn't take me much, and Hoss knows that. I don't take much to get tipsy with that. So, the one night actually, I got daring, and I think I had a pack of Mike's. I had a 6-pack of like the bottles. I usually only drink one. I decided to drink like 2.5. So I did. I downed 2.5 bottles of like Mike's hard lemonade, and I'm sitting in the recliner, and I'm sitting here, and the room's going like. Okay, and then I'll show you here. You guys can hear me. I'm gonna get up. I stood up. I finally got up, right where the chair is. Not very far. All of a sudden, I'm taking barely a step. This room's really spinning here. Like I'm going. Okay. Like all right. I'm trying to walk toward the kitchen. I'm like, step. Whoa. Yep. Okay. So this went on for maybe 30 minutes, I'd say, give or take. and she goes, "Are you all right?" Well, room's spinning. I'm not seasick yet, but the room's definitely like the floor's going this way and this way. It's almost like my head was on a gyroscope going like, whoa, okay, I gotta sit down. Even sitting down, I'm like, oh boy. So I'm like, all right, note to self, I'm not drinking more than one at a time because that's... And then even trying to go up the staircase, like I had to hold the railing and I'm literally like pulling myself up the stairs because I'm like, I can't free walk up the stairs because I'm going to be going on my ass going backwards, breaking my head on the floor. So that was really fun. I think I fell down at one point. I fell on the couch though. I didn't hit the floor, but I tripped. Like I thought something was there and I tripped, and it was not a drinker much, but it's a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, that was a personal favorite there. That was just because even light beer, light beer I get tipsy on, so if that says anything. But yeah, that was adventurous. Talk about fun. I shared one talk about funny cop stories. You feel like the cops are after you. I had one time. This is a funny story since Hoss brought this up because this was a false alarm kind of thing too. But I was driving one time, and there was a cop coming behind me with lights flashing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like I nearly peed my pants. I was worried. I'm like, I didn't do anything, and it was almost like he was following me for a while, and I'm like, shit, what do I do? Like, I pulled over, he went right around me. I'm like, oh, he's not after me. But I'm like, I don't know what I did, but who knows? There could have been a reason. So, but it was just like one of those like scary moments. Do you guys ever have this? So here's a fun one. Hoss, you probably have this too, but what always happens to me is a classic for me, either the middle of the night or anytime during the day. I end up scaring myself because my eyes, I feel like I see something. Like you walk in front of a mirror and you see the movement and you scare yourself silly. I just did this the other night, in fact, and I nearly whacked myself on the door because I went into a dark room, and I freaked myself out, going like, "Oh, there's somebody in here." I really shouldn't tell myself that. So, and there was like a shadow movement where I nearly kicked the door because I thought somebody was there. So I nearly peed my pants at the same time. So that was fun. So we always used to joke, and this will be my story towards Hoss. This was always fun. We always used to joke that we're going to come into his apartment when he's sleeping. And he won't know it. And I've always said we're going to give a bunch of people his address, which I do have. So if anybody wants that, you can send an email.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But fun stuff kind of like that. So that was, and of course you guys heard, if you listened last night, you heard the bear story. That's probably my most embarrassing story yet to date. Coming up there. I can...
Coward real quick.
Listen, if you saw the size of that was a big ass bear, okay? Like I'm not talking about Yogi Bear. I'm talking like 3 times my size, like
Still turned into a coward.
Well, here's the thing. Like now, did I know that I didn't feel like being mauled to death by a bear, and that bear probably would have made a chew toy out of me pretty quick because that thing was big. Although I think the only thing that saved me was it was too busy focusing on foraging and eating whatever it was eating. Because let me tell you something. When I went by the next day, and I got to look at that fake bear that was out there, realizing that fucking other bear I saw the night before was even bigger than that thing. Yeah, I'm glad I did run, because I'm like, that son of a gun, and they can run fast if a bear wants to. I'm like, I don't want to be mauled here in the street. It was just kind of funny because people were watching me run down the street, like the neighbor's like, well, yeah, we're sitting on the porch, we're watching you, you're running down here like this, going like, well, there's a bear up there, so like...
Yeah, you're going. Yeah.
Like, and running downhill, and I couldn't stop myself. So the neighbors, they're people there watching, going, huh? Like, and then people in the car pulling towards the end of the driveway, going, yeah, we just kind of sat there in the car and we're watching you, going like, interesting. Like he's just running like this. I'm like, yeah. I said I didn't know what else to do because I said that bears can get up to 60 miles an hour when they start running, and there's no way I'm going to outrun the bear if he, and literally 10 feet. Like if I could see him, he's gonna see me. So that was, yeah. There are black bear. We've seen a black bear occasionally walk through the yard here, so that's not uncommon. Usually it's deer most frequently. Deer don't usually scare me too much. Although I did have an encounter with a buck one time, but that wasn't too bad. So listen. So we'll say this way: Hoss likes to joke about that too. If you ever come across a bear, And I'll tell you what, we go on a camping trip and we see a bear. I'm going to push you right in the path of the bear. You can stay there. We're running for our lives. So.
Don't put you in front of me.
Classic. Though some things we never live down. That's going to be. Oh, we got wind chimes going. So we have a fireplace and we have wind chimes. That's the project that Miss Eliza is working on currently. That's why we have chimes in the background. Yeah, some of these stories you just can't make up, and you can't. I don't know. They're classics, right? They're just some things that you can never live down there, and I'm sure you guys can probably relate. There's a lot of stories I'm sure we all can share that. The thing it's fair to say, and I think Hoss will agree with me too, is in the moment when these things happen, they're not always funny at the time. After it's over and you go back on it, reflect on it, it is pretty funny. So, kind of like our story where Hoss told me he's quitting the podcast, which I don't think my blood pressure's ever been that high in a short amount of time. But I forgot to. I should have mentioned this. One other thing I didn't do that night when you mentioned that too was I was this close to going for a walk out in the middle of the night. Like, usually the way I calm down is I storm off and I walk off, and I probably would have went walking for an hour. Like, yeah. So, as we say, practical jokes and pranks galore. One day we will have our, things all come full circle. Will come around. So, definitely be prepared for that. We're going to take another short break here just so we get one more in for the night. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap up soon. We're going to see if we have any more great stories we're going to share. And again, if you guys want to share stories with us at any point, hit us up on social media. You can send us emails. We'd love to hear some stories there. I actually want to get this out. I forgot to do this at the start of the show. I want to type up just a little message there for everybody if you're listening live. It's always nice to be appreciated. We always do respond. It is us when we write back. So if you want to send us a message, we will be there. So definitely is us there. Not anybody else. Definitely us. So let's take another pause here. We'll play a couple more tracks. We're going to just kick back and enjoy a little bit more of the rays. The warm, you can pretend it's warm because I know you don't feel it unless you have your own fire going right now. Listen and feel the sounds of the campfire. Relax there. We'll come back. Maybe we'll pick one or two more short stories that we'll share with you guys to wrap for the night there. And again, hopefully this has been a relaxing weekend for you guys. We shared that last night too. We enjoyed doing this because it helps to kind of break the tension for the week, as much as everybody gets busy, and you guys have heard the episode last night, everybody, especially for me this past week, has been a busy week too, so we all need that time to just kick back and relax, and what better way to do it, not always in front of the TV, but in front of the fire, which is what we're doing tonight. And hopefully we'll get a chance to do that in real life. We do want to have some camping going there. That's some project we're going to work on to do, so that will be a lot of fun because I definitely know I want to cook some fresh food on the campfire. It's always going to be great. So we're going to definitely work on doing that. But stick around. We'll play a little bit more music for you guys, keep you in the mood. We're going to come back. We're going to get ready to wrap things up shortly here. Again, love you guys so much. Can't thank you enough. A lot of great growth going on there. Thank you to our newer followers on Twitter. And actually, our Instagram has been picking up too. We've got a lot more followers there too. So if you're following us there, thank you so much. We've actually had a spike in followers there. So you guys are really showing and feeling the love, and we appreciate that. And actually, even our Facebook group, which I don't know if Hoss has looked at it lately, we're actually pushing 200 members so far, just about. Now, grant you, we do have to do some purging there, I will say that. There's some that I think are still some fake accounts. But on the whole, we actually have a pretty good turnout for that. So thank you guys so much if you're in that group. If you're not, you're welcome to join. Check it out there. The link will be in the description of this video. If you're listening to this on the YouTube channel, make sure you check that out. The link tree will be there as well, which includes all the social medias, everything else that we have available for you guys. You can check out there. Don't be afraid to do so. We'll be right back. We're going to finish up things soon for the night. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Kick back, relax. If you're going to fall asleep, hey, why not? We'll be the soothing voice that you need to get your night started and to get a good night's sleep, to recharge this weekend and look forward to the week coming up ahead. Stay tuned. We're not done just yet. Just a little bit more to go for the evening. We'll be right back right after this.
Are you enjoying the show? Do you want even more great content? Then check out the What's Up Bro podcast show's link tree for all studio accounts, including the official show website, brought to you by J&J Production Studios. Catch all your favorite episodes of the show when they're uploaded. Curious to know who makes the show possible? Meet the cast and crew. Discover the magic behind the microphone, not just in front with our staff bios. Want to chat with other audience fans? Enter the forums section. Talk, engage, and interact with listeners from all over the globe. Not on social media and want the latest information? Then subscribe to the podcast newsletter and get everything delivered straight to your inbox. No matter what, you'll always stay connected. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Do what you want, do what you want, do it. Do what you want, do what you want, do it.
Hey, welcome back, guys. We had the extra song going there, working on some stuff here, but thought it'd be kind of nice to have. It's titled Fireworks for that, but I guess you kind of can't tell from that. But at any rate, figure a little extra tunage there to have you guys there. Something more relaxing to keep you in that relaxation mood. We're going to give you some final thoughts, and we're going to just share a couple more things here for you guys to wrap up for this evening. And also, we have, during the break, we found out we have a special announcement we're going to put out there too. So we will definitely make sure we share that at the very end, but let's put it out this way there. So I'll ask Haas first. So what have you learned from our little epic storytelling tonight? Is there anything you can take? What is there anything interesting that you learned? Anything that's shocking that I've shared that you learned that maybe you didn't know before?
No, not really.
You kind of expect most of this stuff, right? It's funny because I kind of same way for Haas too. You know, I think because we've known each other long enough now, you just kind of there's really not many surprises you can do, except obviously ripping your jeans. That was the biggest surprise for the year too. Not to mention when you pull practical jokes, that's one thing you don't expect. So that's certainly something that the timeless classics that you really cannot and probably will never be able to replicate or do again. So it's also a lot of fun. We're hoping we can do this again. We'll try to get some of the others back. I know a lot of the guys would love to do this as well, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, reminder too, if you have some great stories you want to share, feel free to send them to us. You can hit us up on social media. You can send us an email, j_jproductionstudios@yahoo.com. Again, make sure you check out our link tree. We do share it everywhere we possibly can. We probably need to share it again on social media just to remind you guys. But all the great stuff related to us here you can find there. Again, one of the announcements we're working on, we do have some designs laid out for some logos for some merchandise that will be up in the store soon where you guys can check that out. Promise that's coming down the pike. Also we're taking another crack at an advertising video that we're coming in there too. We're working on that we can share, which will give you guys some ideas. It's kind of like a little premiere video that we're working on, so we'll see how that goes, having someone design that and giving some ideas there. So just keep tabs for that. We'll give you guys some updates. We are going to work on some more scheduling. We want to get some of the other podcasts going there, so we're working on some schedules. I know I'm working on the Law and Justice show that should be coming out this week sometime. I'm going to try to get another episode out there for you guys. It seemed to be very popular. The sports show is great. We're going to get Haas to do some more Colorado music. You guys seem to love that show too. It's really another popular one that's favorite, just about as much as the What's Up Bro show. So all that great stuff and more. Again, 2023, this is our year to do a lot of great things. More fun stuff coming up in the summertime. We're going to do maybe a special longer episode. We want to get a streaming night where we can game. We're going to plan that one night. I definitely have that plan. I have some time to book that there, so we'll keep you guys posted with that. More special guests we're hoping to come up, which leads me to, lastly, before we get ready to sign off, our big announcement, which we will share as we get closer, because this will be a little ways away. So as you guys know, if you remember and check out the episode, we had a very special celebrity guest on with us about a month or so, a couple months ago now, UFC fighter Miranda Maverick. She actually reached out to her to wish her well. She's slated to fight, I believe it's in Vegas coming up in about 6 weeks from now. So we reached out to her to wish her, give her our well wishes, and that we're supporting her. We try to give her as much publicity we can help her out there and well wishes there. She will be joining us again on the show. She's going to come and talk to us after the fight, so we're going to get to hear about her experience there. We're going to have to follow through and see how the fight goes and have her tell us her in-person, in-the-ring experience, what it's like to be going hand and foot, head to toe in a fight as far as just not spectating like we see. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll give you guys to be determined as far as scheduling and when we announce that, but that will be after her fight. So probably sometime later in June, maybe towards the end of June, beginning of July. That's going to be a summer special we'll have coming up. So you heard it here first. We will give you guys updates as we hear that. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you check that out. It's a pleasure having her last time. We look forward to having her again. It's going to be amazing. And we'll get back to Into the Martial Arts world. We'll have some more episodes with Ramsey. Got a few other guests we're going to see if we can line up for this year too. I'm working on as well. All kinds of neat stuff. So make sure you guys stay tuned. So with that being said, as always, it's been a pleasure to be with you guys. We love you all so much, and it's always fun to hang out with you guys. We enjoy it every single weekend. It's what we look forward to. We always want to give a very important message. Big Hoss is our best at that, so I'm going to have him go first. He's going to sign off and give you guys well wishes and say goodnight, and remind you, very importantly, one very important message. So Big Hoss, say goodnight to everybody and remind them.
If you get a drink, don't drive.
There you go. And say goodnight to everybody and wish them well.
Good night, everybody.
We will see you guys again, guys. We love you so much here. We appreciate you being here, of course, as always. We only say goodbye for now, just temporarily. Of course, until next time. Stay tuned for updates. We'll keep you guys posted. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. We love you all. Take care. See you soon. Be happy, be healthy, and be safe. And of course, as always, we'll see you at the show. Good night.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.